Welcome to the continent of Aldernostrum, a quaint peninsula surrounded by mountains and oceans with one connecting landmass to the south. A war ravaged the land 100 years ago, where a black dragon by the name of Aldar crossed plains with an army of darkness to plague the land. With much diligence and hardship, the men and women fought back this oppression when victory was upheld by 4 mystic sages that slew Aldar, forcing his army to retreat. Present day. Our party, a questionable band of adventurers, gathered in a little town of Durin, on the southern side of the peninsula. They had heard about a nearby catacomb where travelers had been mysteriously disappearing into. Upon investigating, they met a purple-skinned stranger with black bat wings, who disappeared before she was questioned. Back at the village, they found that the lady in question was a fallen apprentice of one of the mages from the Great War, who became corrupted and turned to necromancy. Following this path, they took the information to the nearby city of Kunia, where they wished to speak to the Lord and hoped to contact the king about these troubling times. Lord Terence, the Lord of Kunia, exclaimed that his connection to the king had faltered ever since the death of his wife, Lady Sylvia, who was the king's daughter, and in order to get back with his good graces, he needed to retrieve Lady Sylvia's brooch that was stolen 3 months ago from her grave. Now the party sets out to Rorikstein in hopes of following the Silver Leaf, a band of nefarious bandits who were last known to the location of the brooch.
Hello, my name is Maximus. I'm a high elf. I would like to believe I'm the most intelligent in this group, but that's a story for another day. Let's talk about how I got here. I grew up in the town of Vendus. It was a great elven metropolis built on war and farming. There was nothing else. You either could kill a dragon with your bare hands by the age of 10, or you were growing potatoes to keep all the warriors alive. It went like that for a few thousand years, until some dragon came up out of some other realm and tried to take over the world. At that point, we didn't really care of that war, so we stayed to ourselves. But one day on patrol, where me and 20 others were hunting a pack of giant dragons, the town was attacked by cultists. It was burned to the ground, and by the time we got back, there was only about 400 of us left. At that point, we decided to join the humans in the war against the dragon. We fought valiantly with them, we won many battles, and we probably helped them win the war in hindsight. Eventually, towards the later years of the war, we found the group of cultists who attacked us. So me and my 3 brothers got a group together and went to go kill this group of cultists. Brilliant plan. It took weeks to make it. But when we went to enact this plan, my eldest brother decided to turn on us, take the device, kill the cultist, kill my people, kill my brothers, take my magic, and leave me for dead. I was quite distraught after that, and I spent 2 years in a cave by myself. It was at that point when a nice dwarf found me, and he hired me at his tavern. Worked there for many years, until he kicked me out and told me to go get vengeance. For God's sakes, just go get it already. He was a great fellow by the name of Maximus Decimus. I did take his name. And that is how I got here.
Howdy, the name's Victor, and I'm a powerful sorcerer. Woo! My story begins in a little hut on the mountainside of Mount Kuragi. My mother died giving birth to me, while my father remains a complete mystery. All I had for family was my Aunt Liz, a hunter, a teacher, and very mom-like. She tended to all my needs, teaching me everything she knew. Very protective on the side as well. Wouldn't leave me out of her sights for a moment's notice. Not even for the bathroom. Okay, yeah, for the bathroom, but you get the idea. The only world I knew was that little mountain. The outside was a complete enigma, and as I grew over the years, my interest grew with it. The very idea of going out and exploring the world to see what it had to offer has always intrigued me. But my Aunt Liz always told me the same thing. It's too dangerous to go out on my own. While I did respect her decision on that, to tell you the truth, it only made me want to see it more. But her stance was firm, and it would be at that little hut that I remain. At least, until they came. A trio of adventurers that we fished out of a nearby water stream. They were on a mission from a warring kingdom and got gravely injured from a recent battle. It was fantastic! People from the outside world? My excitement had no bounds. I bombarded them with so many questions. What's it like? Who do you meet? Where do you go to the bathroom? They stayed for a whole month to recover from their injuries. Best darn month of my life. I even volunteered to join them on their quest, but my Aunt Liz wasn't having any of it. The world was already hazarded enough, let alone the adventurer's mission, so the month comes and goes. Time flies when you're having fun after all, and my aunt and I say goodbye to the adventures. At least we would have if it wasn't for the tree ant that attacked us. Long story. It knocked the wind right out of Aunt Liz and went on a rampage. I went to tend to her while the adventurers sprung into action, but it eventually overpowered them. It lunged for my aunt to finish the job, and it was at this moment where I felt several emotions. Fear, doubt, concern, and most importantly, helpless. All my life, Aunt Liz has been there, taking care of me as best as she can, and now it's time for me to do the same. Without even thinking about it, I raised my hand, and for the next few seconds, all I could see was fusions of reds and oranges. The tree ant backed away in pain as flames spewed out from the palm of my hand, burning it. The three adventurers saw this opportunity and went in to finish the tree off. As things calmed, I looked back at my aunt. She was awake and saw everything that has happened. I tried to ask if she was okay, but she quickly cut me off. She asked if I still want to go with the adventurers. I nodded. Aunt Liz remarks that she's been taking care of me for so long that she was never sure if I was ready to go off on my own. After what she saw, she was more than sure that I was. So at the ripe age of 18, I became independent, following the three adventurers. It's been quite a few years now, and I've been taking care of myself a-okay. Though unfortunately, me and the adventurers did get separated during one of our missions, which was what eventually led me to join the group I'm with now. They're nothing like the adventurers, but they're nice folks all the same. There are times where I miss those three, but I can see that these guys could also use my help, so I'm not too broken up over it. Who knows what'll happen next?
Within a large city, the loud clamour of a bar echoed out around, a common place for unruly adventurers to drink their worries away. Beer mugs clank against each other. Loud, scratchy laughter booms out as a barbarian hears a funny joke. However, it isn't long until the cacophony of high spirits is interrupted. One blow lands, and then another. Two muscular men were in a full-on fistfight, each one screaming, blabbering, slurring about how the other had taken their coin pouch. Sadly, the fight was rather pointless, as a hooded figure exited the bar and made her way through the dark, less busy atmosphere of a city in the middle of the night. As she entered the nearby inn, she lowered her hood. Two previously confined pointed ears perked themselves up at the feeling of being freed, as a black and white furred tabaxi sauntered over to the inn's front desk. "One night, please," the rogue said, grabbing 2 gold coins from one of the 3 coin pouches attached to her belt, and flipped them onto the wooden counter by the innkeeper. With the flick of her tail, she was up the stairs and into a room. Sabre lets the feeling of the nighttime crawl in and hopes that the feeling of dissatisfaction will finally leave.
My name is Tured-Ki Aludem, faithful tool of Elmater, the one who endures. I was an only child born to a pair of merchants, members of a large trader's caravan following the seasonal trade routes. I remember long days on dry roads, sand, cloudless skies, broken only by the bustling cities we visited. They were peaceful days. Trouble avoided me even as I sought it out. It was just as I was becoming a young man the wanton tragedies of the world showed themselves to me. The orcs were merciless. Guard and traveler alike were slaughtered. They left what they couldn't carry in flames. I was one of them. Fortunate few who were left to wander the desert trail by foot. I never found my parents. We reached the next town, half dead from thirst, I was without help, without friends, without anything but my own clothes to my name. When the monks from Temple Qualvera came, the sanctuary they offered seemed too good to be true. Isolated life was strange to me, but I found release in their unusual arts, weaponry, and brush. I trained feverishly, and washed canvas in red. My heart ached with loss, with anger, with sorrow. My peers doubted my will, but there was one who took interest in my violent energy. Phelan saw my suffering, not my rage. But I was still fragile in her eyes. She quickly trained me out of that. Every member of the temple chooses a weapon with which they channel their ki, and hers was the whip. Short, nigh, razor-thin tails. And with it she taught me the difference between pain and suffering. It was wonderful. Not the pained focus I'd used before, but peace. With every lash, suffering became pain, bodily, and my regrets, my anger, they eased. I took up the whip myself in her honor. I trained with her for years. Her final test was absolute. She lashed me within an inch of my life. I saw death and returned. The memories were fogged, yes, but Phelan was satisfied. I was not her first pupil. I was not her last. I was her second to last. The next, he did not survive her final test. And it was after that that she was expelled from the temple. Unbeknownst to me, she had done her practices in secret, without peer review. I never knew. I never doubted, not once. She was my everything. And I had to find a replacement. I chose Almater, the ever-suffering god. Matches my heart. I took up 2 whips, longer, dyed red to match the cords that bind his arms. I am now his tool on this planet. His fury, righteous. His mercy, soft. And I will bring this world to justice.
I'm named Oskar. I'm from a dwarven mountain village in Midland. I know what you're thinking. I'm too big to be a dwarf. Well, you're about half right. My father was a dwarf and my mother was an orc. I know. Weird combination. They met when they were adventuring. I worked with my father at the smith and forge for many years until a nasty tyrant came to the town. Started charging people for taxes, for protection, for gambling. My father went against him. So they came for money and blood. My father fell in the middle of battle. I carried him and buried him in the mountain, where I started my quest. I met a man who taught me the ways of the paladin and the prayers of Odin. I vow to someday get my revenge.